Waking up dizzy in the morning, we fight a lot, don't even know about what. I just want you to leave, darling. It's my only hope. Can't you see our time is up? I don't want to start over. Finally some peace and quiet since you left, so don't bother. This is how I feel now. I never had it so good. Had it so good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. I feel good. I feel good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. Waking up early in the morning, without you by my side, yeah. Waking up early in the morning, and baby, I feel fine, I feel fine. I don't want to start over. Finally some peace and quiet since you left, so don't bother. This is how I feel now. I never had it so good. Had it so good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. Without your love.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me check my sound is going in. It is. How pleasing. James here, nice to see you. I hope you are all well, whether you're joining us live or you're joining us on demand. We appreciate you taking a look at this show. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to introduce you to the cluster and the groups of courses that we're going to be launching and releasing for September 2022. They fit neatly into three groups. We're going to be talking about the BTEC Tech Award in Sport 2022. We're going to be talking about the Cambridge National, OCR National, Sports Science and Sports Studies New Course 2022, or New Courses 2022. And we're going to talk excitingly about the Key Stage 3 course provision that we're going to be providing from September also. Now, if you want to interact with us live on the show, obviously, if you're watching us on demand, you can leave us a comment on YouTube, for example. But if you want to interact with us online during the live event, do post a question on the live launch page. There is a chat there which you can post, and it will come through to us, and we'll answer that here on the camera for you. If you've got anything you're not sure about or anything you feel we haven't covered, we'll do that for you. So, first things first, we're going to jump straight into the idea of the BTEC Tech Award in Sport 2022. And the first thing I'm going to do is show you a brief little video. It's just 1 minute, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it once that has played. Here we go. So there you have it, folks. Effectively, and hopefully you've picked up from the video there, we're launching two components live well in advance of September 2022. In fact, we're going to be launching them in the next couple of days. And they are component 1, which is the preparing participants, and the component 3, which is the developing fitness unit. The component 3, of course, being the examined unit. So that's going to be available to you well in advance of September. So a couple of sort of words of detail there. We are providing exam simulator content for component 3. free as early as September, so you can start that preparation for your students from any point from September 2022 in preparation for initial assessments. And of course, we are providing component 1, which is a PS assignment unit. You'll notice we are not currently planning to provide component 2, which is the performance and leadership unit. We will reflect on that as we go forward, but at least from the start point, we're not going to be delivering that unit, broadly because we believe that really should be done through real world experience, should be done through practical experience. And also any course that we deliver for component 2 is going to be relatively generic when the experience the student needs to have is going to be highly specific to the activities that they themselves are doing. So that's our thinking on that one. I'm not ruling out we may do it in the future, but to begin with, component 1 and component 3 is where we are going. So we have those courses landing immediately. I just want to stress there that the courses are absolutely bespoke to the new qualification. Legacy material is exactly that. And of course, the BTEC First Award will remain available on our platform, for example, but the actual content will be separate, will be modern, will be updated, or has been updated for those new courses. So it's absolutely exam boards and course specific and bespoke to that BTEC Award in Sport 2022. Okay, and that's going to be available well in advance of September 2022. The other thing to notice there, and this is the same for all of those courses, the other thing to notice there, I've just been told my streaming volume is quite low. Okay, so I'm just going to turn up my gain, see if that will help me. I'm going to turn up my input volume just in case that helps me. That I think that's as loud as I can go, but hopefully that's going to be reasonable. Where was I? So yes, just lost my train of thought there slightly. But what I was going to say there is that extended free trials are available for all of the courses that I'm talking to you about this afternoon. So if, for example, you're not a user of our platform at the moment and you want to be trialing the BTEC Tech Award 2022 from, let's say, September the 1st, we will give you until the end of October 2 whole 3 months for you to get into the sort of the rhythm and the flow of using our resources. So it gives you that sort of concept of familiarity and confidence right from the get-go. Now that is exactly the same when we talk about our OCR or our Cambridge National courses for both sports studies and sports science. And with those courses in mind, I'd like to show you what will probably feel like quite a similar video about the Cambridge Nationals. Here we go. And there we have it, folks. So hopefully that gives you a nice insight as well. A couple of sort of similarities from the BTEC Tech Award in terms of what we're releasing. So we are releasing 7 units of Cambridge National altogether. They are all 4 units on the sports science course, including the 2 optional units. And we're also launching 3 of the 4 units for the sports studies. The only unit we are not launching for the sports studies in advance of September 2022 is the performance unit, for the same reason I mentioned with the BTEC Tech Award earlier on, that we feel that's better in the real world as a practical experience rather than being learned online. So all 7 of those 8 units, so optional units in both sets of those courses, are going to be available from September. Can I also reiterate that examining through the examined units for sports studies, the contemporary issues for the sports science, the injuries unit, they are going to be available from September as well. So you can be gearing up to the examined content in advance of that being an assessment requirement when the dates for those come around and actually start appearing for us. So those courses are going to be bespokely available and ready for you for September 2022 usage. And once again, similarly to how we said with the BTEC Tech Award, your extended free trial, if you're not a user of our platform at this point, is actually for 2 months minimum. You can start using those courses as soon as they're available this side of the summer, but certainly if you want to join us in September, use for a couple of months, get a feel for what we provide, use the resources to get you kicked off and get the course started successfully, and you can engage with that free trial freely. and there you go. So we've covered there our BTEC Tech Award 2022. We've covered our Cambridge Nationals, both sports studies and sports science, and we're going to move now to what I think is going to be a really exciting piece of content, which is for really the first time ever, though we have previously had one Key Stage 3 PE course on the platform before. We're now going to be launching, and I'll talk about this in detail with you, a bespoke offer for Key Stage 3 PE provision through theeverlearn.com and potentially through your centre. So without further ado, let's have a little look at what that is all about. These vitamins and minerals are also really important, okay? Amino acids, so they can be absorbed into the body. That's literally what digestion is. Okay. So of course there are examples of exercise where the focus is on the quality of the movement. And I have to say, I'm really excited to be launching that. I sort of want to just sort of speak personally a little to what we've done there with the Key Stage 3 PE courses. First of all, just to stress that it's completely optional for you as teachers. You can opt to use it or not. You can opt to use elements of the courses that you feel are particularly valuable. You might be really interested with your students to use, for example, the different components of diet and how they relate to health, because that relates to a unit of health and fitness that you teach already. For example, it might be that you're particularly focused, say, about the context of movement and how when we launch later courses where we look at movement in context across the world, movement in context in the UK, you might be particularly interested in bringing those sorts of components in so that students have more of a rounded world view of why movement's important, how it's represented in different cultures and indeed in our own culture. These might be things that you sort of tailor and pick from the buffet of content that we're going to be providing for you. And can I just stress to the teachers that are listening to this, The aim of that Key Stage 3 PE curriculum is that you as a teacher have literally no work to do to implement that curriculum at Key Stage 3. We very much hope that you'll keep it as an outside of practical performance experience, and that engaging with our Key Stage 3 PE courses will really improve the quality and the experience of performing in practical lessons when you have those practical lessons within your core PE curriculum. So we are not looking here at getting students into classrooms. We are not looking at shoving them in front of computers. We are looking at potentially an out of curriculum experience of learning, which then bolsters, supports and enriches the actual core curriculum in lessons themselves. That's my vision, at least, and I'm really intrigued to see how different colleagues are going to start applying that. Can I stress again, it's there as a buffet of options for you to select and tailor to make it just right for your particular context. And can I also stress, I know many of you have read the blog that I published last week, that we're starting in September with 3 courses examples. I'll just put them on the screen here for you. An example would be something like Knowing Your Body Part 1, Body Systems and Health. And this course is going to be available from September, as is Part 2, Body Systems and Exercise, as is, for example, Diet, Nutrition and Digestion. Over the course of 2022 and 2023, we're going to be consulting with you, the sector, the PE teaching sector, and we are going to be delivering course after course after course after course on a whole wide variety of different options that you can use to engage your students with across that period of time. So we're really excited to bring that to you. Finally, on all of this is, if you're a current user of our platform, can I stress as well that if you've purchased with us access to sport and PE, there is no additional requirement for you to access another curriculum. Key Stage 3 is part of that purchase that you've made. The only time that a price will go up is where you go into a greater number of users. You've already purchased that Key Stage 3 PE provision, and it's just your choice now whether you want to apply it to your groups and in those contexts. So 3 courses available to you from September, and we anticipate in the region of a further 7 to 8 courses during the course of 2022-2023 on a range of topic areas, from health to psychology to motivation to social cultural studies, and so on, that we're going to be providing to you for you to select from and allocate to your students as you see fit, with that key theme of being not one single piece of work to produce the content by a teacher, nor mark the content by a teacher, simply to apply it to your students, to receive the data and the feedback, and then to act upon it in lessons. I like to imagine the enriched conversations that you might be having with students in your Q&As, in your feedback sessions, in your debrief sessions within your practical, and how they might be enriched by the fact that the students will have this developed and more advanced knowledge of the context in which they are studying, in which they are moving. That goes very much to the core of why I'm providing this and why I think it might be relevant for you out there. Okay, so that's what we're doing in this particular moment. I just want to give you a couple of little tantalizers, if I can. Let me just check I've got my audio set up here. Just bear with me a second. Can I just sort of share my screen with you? First of all, folks, can I encourage you to go to our homepage? We've got a banner at the top here. Anything you want to know further, just visit our new courses page. Come into that new courses page. In fact, here is actually the live event going on right now. I could click and watch myself talking here. But notice here, there's lots of information about those different courses. And also you can register for reminders and updates. So as soon as, for example, the first Key Stage 3 course, the first BTEC Tech Award 2022 course and Sports Science and Sports Studies become available, we will inform you. Do remember to click yes on this consent when you complete this form, because even though I'm, as an individual myself, I must universally click no to these things. But if you click no, we literally can't email you. So do click yes here and we can update you on those things. And just as a little bit of an insight, folks, I just wanted to show you, look, the BTEC Tech Award Component 1, it exists. That content is ready for us to launch. Here's Component 1. Here, for example, let me go to here. Oh, I think I've probably clicked out of the wrong page there, but that content is available already. The Key Stage 3 course is going online and being pushed live in the coming days. The BTEC Tech Award is being pushed live in the coming days. These are real things. This is not a maybe thing for September 2022. This is happening. We are providing it, and it's available for you to apply to your students as you see fit and as you need. Okay, so I'm going to pause there. I think I've got my main messages across. Always interesting doing these things live, especially when the sound maybe hasn't worked. Are we okay on the sound, Marta? Marta's given me the thumbs up. We think we're okay. Marta, do we have any questions, or is there anything you'd like to clarify, or anything you feel I haven't clarified in our session this afternoon? I'm putting you on the spot this time.
Yes, you are. No, I think everything is clear. I think it's important to emphasize what you said about especially the Key Stage 3. That's almost like a collaborative process, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is just the beginning of it. There will be more, and the more teachers participate and let us know what they would like to see there, the better the more content and the better the course will be.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think that's an interesting point as well. And like one of the visions I have for this, let's say that the sector feeds back to me that we want a series of units around mental health, around sports psychology, about what we can learn about elite sports psychology and how we can apply it into day-to-day life of being a young person, being a student, being a teacher. We will go and research that content. If we don't feel it's something that James specifically should be teaching, maybe I'm not a qualified psychologist, for example, but we will go and resource that, and we will be able to find the right resources, the right information, and if necessary the right people to deliver that course to youngsters. So if you're a PE teacher thinking, I'm a bit squeamish about delivering, let's say, mental health and talking about mental health conditions, which is completely normal to feel that way, we can help to solve that particular problem, whether that's to do with something sort of awkward like mental health, or can be awkward to talk about certain aspects of that, or whether it's just pure technical knowledge of something. We can provide the quality of that, so to make sure that the information that's getting through to students is absolutely robust, absolutely relevant. For example, in the diet, nutrition and digestion course, we've talked a little bit about obesity. We've got lessons on obesity, we've got lessons on under eating, or I talk in there about anorexia nervosa, I talk in there about bulimia, I talk in there about binge eating disorder, for example. And we're giving the students very reliable information direct from the NHS about how that should be managed by different people if there is concern around those, either in ourselves or in others. So hopefully that's going to really resource people to be in a stronger position to understand themselves, understand their context, understand the role, in this case, of quite extreme or more serious sort of eating considerations. So I think that's a good example where we can get real clarity and confidence into young people around those things, especially if that's a particularly difficult thing. Marta's wandered over to the other side of me. I'm not totally sure why.
no, I was going to just the only other thing I would like to say is just to remind people that if they're interested in any of the courses that we've presented, they will find more details on each course page, which they'll find in the video description if they're watching on YouTube, or on the launch page if they're watching through there. So you can just click on each of those pages and go and see and find more information about any course you're interested. And if you go to the Key Stage 3 course, if that's what you're interested in, you will also find a place there where you can offer your opinion and participate through that page.
Yeah, and I'm just showing that on the screen here. So a couple of things on the Key Stage 3 page here. Again, you can register your interest, but also notice what details of the 3 courses that we're launching here. We've also got the actual detail of the content that's going to be on the initial 3 courses. They're going to be really useful for you to have a look at. And down here, the benefits. And we're looking for your feedback. For example, are these here the courses that you guys really, really want to be delivering? This is what we're kind of guessing and assuming you might be interested in, but there might be things that you particularly want us to build, and this is where you can give your feedback about that process. And we very much want to engage with you about that. So this is not just us dictating and advocating a curriculum, but it's working with you, working with PE teachers in centres to try and find the right balance and the right spread of resources that we can provide for our Key Stage 3 PE students. And let me just pose a question for a second. What would it look like if physical education had the best resources and the best provision, world-class provision at Key Stage 3? And that's not to say that other subjects shouldn't, but if we had that online provision, world-class, off the page, the quality being immense, available to every student, affordable in every school, if we had that, we've got an opportunity to build something really, really special. And that's something that excites me very, very much. So that's where it comes from in me, and hopefully that might be something that might hit with other people too. Marta, I've got my holding closing screen here ready to hit. Is there anything you want me to cover or address before we sign off?
Nothing else from me.
Okay, well, I'm going to wish you a brilliant, what day is it? Tuesday afternoon. Marta and I think we're going off to the gym. I think we've got a rhythm spinning class that we're going to go and do with Heather, very good instructor. We've got that at 6 o'clock, so we're going to go and get sweaty at the gym. Thank you for all of you who attended this session live. We really appreciate you for doing that, and I hope some of or all of what we've talked about here has kind of stoked you and fired you up a little bit about the possibilities of what we might be doing from September 2022. I'm really proud to be bringing these things to you. It means a lot to me that people are interested, and please reach out and talk to us if you want further information. Direct from the homepage is a great place to go. We've got the live chat there on all of those landing pages as well for the different courses, including the Key Stage 3 PE course. So engage with them that way, and we are at your service and here to answer your questions. So we really appreciate that you're supporting us with this, and thank you very much.
Waking up dizzy in the morning. We fight a lot. Don't even know about what. I just want you to leave, darling. It's my only hope. Can't you see our time is up? I don't want to start over. Finally some peace and quiet since you left, so don't bother. This is our